At the time of uploading the video, there exists more than 30 mainline Pokemon games, which is kind of a lot. Of course, there is a never-ending debate about what Pokemon games are better or worse than what games, with each game being the favorite of some people out there. But did you know you could make your own Pokemon game if you wanted to? Now, you could try to code the game from scratch, and some people actually did that. But what people also do is what is referred to as ROM hacking. You take an existing Pokemon game and you tweak it, making more Pokemon available, making the fights harder, adding character to the game, and even adding freaking Blue Eyes White Dragon to the game if you wanted to. When it comes to Pokemon ROM hacks, the first thing you have to know is that there is a lot of them. Hundreds, if not thousands, of attempts at making Pokemon games better than even Game Freak can do, with some games being great and some being, well, less great. In this video, we will assemble our top 5 best ROM hacks of all time. Now, we obviously have not played every ROM hack in existence, so we apologize in advance if your favorite is not on this list. We probably just didn't play it. At number 5, we have Pokemon Garbage Green. In the deepest corners of the Pokemon community, there exists a subset of geniuses gifted with abilities beyond the scope of normal people. Those people are referred to as the Pro Nuzlockers. Those people specialize in nuzlocking ROM hacks specifically made to be way more difficult than your average Pokemon game. To those people, nuzlocking a game like, say, Pokemon Leaf Green would be so easy it wouldn't even be fun. In search of a worthy challenge, streamer and YouTuber Pokemon Challenges asked the question, is there anything I can do to make these baby easy games challenging again? A question that he answered in the most horrifying way. Enter the Trash Lock. A Trash Lock is a modified version of a Pokemon game where the enemy fights are all the exact same, but the catch is, the player gets extremely limited resources to deal with them. How limited, you may ask? Well, the starters in this game are Paris, Goldeen, and Slugma. Also, look at this team. What you are seeing here is what a good Elite Four team looks like by this game's standards. And yes, that Meditite is not evolved, because the game does not allow you to evolve it. Safe to say that nuzlocking this game is hard. Also, it adds a lot of interesting features such as trainer gauntlets, aka sequences of fights where you cannot go back and heal in between, cheap rare candies at the Pokemart to help with grinding, and a few other changes. Definitely a very interesting concept executed in a brilliant way. At number 4, we have Pokemon Run and Bun. This hack, which only came out late March, made by legendary Nuzlocker Dexa, is contending for a spot as one of the hardest ROM hacks ever made. This hack tried to have an extremely tight balancing, making it incredibly difficult, but still not quite impossible to say, make a hardcore Nuzlocke of. This hack could definitely have warranted a higher spot on this list, but is still fairly unexplored. We still decided to include it here since it seems like an absolute banger and would want it to see more love. At number 3, we have Renegade Platinum. Let us introduce you to a man named Drayano. If making ROM hacks could be considered an art form, Drayano is some sort of Pokemon equivalent to Leonardo da Vinci, minus the long beard. Actually, come to think of it, maybe he has the same beard as Leo in real life. Anyway, the point is that Drayano is a veteran ROM hacker with several bangers to his name such as Sacred Gold and Storm Silver, Rising Ruby and Sinking Sapphire, Blaze Black, and of course, Renegade Platinum. All of Dre's hacks are made in more or less the same philosophy. Give the opponent super powerful teams with insane coverage and held items, and give you, the player, a lot more resources to even the playing field, naturally setting up spectacular fights for any player who has decent knowledge of the game. Among Drayano's hacks, Renegade Platinum is the most known one and definitely a great representative of the style. The game may go out of his way to give the first gym leader 6 Pokemon, but you also have access to all started from Kanto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh, as well as other great Pokemon such as Beldum, Staryu, Riolu, and more. The game also makes a point of buffing up trashy Pokemon like Luvdisc, Chatot, and Delibird to make them interesting and threatening in their own right. Definitely a must-play for fans of Pokemon hacks. At number 2, we have Radical Red. Radical Red is one of the most well-known hacks out there. This hack of Pokemon Fire Red uses the complete Fire Red Upgrade Engine, or CFRU. If we were to translate the English, this means this game has all Pokemon and mechanics up to Gen 8. The game focuses on making a competitive-like battle experience, implementing level caps to disallow overleveling important fights, a way smarter AI than you're used to, and allowing a monstrous variety of Pokemon to catch and use. There's more. The fights themselves are hard and have competitive strategies like weather, terrain, entry hazard, trick room double battles, and much more. The sheer variety of strategies you can go for is absolute bliss, and the game itself has various game modes such as normal, minimum grinding, easy, randomizer, and hardcore for the true mad lads out there. Our favorite was definitely minimum grinding, where you always get perfect IVs on your Pokemon and neither you nor your opponent Pokemon get any EVs. Overall, the game is a true masterpiece of a hack. And you may ask, if you guys like this so much, then how is it not number 1? Well, before we move on to that, a few honorable mentions that did not make the list but hey, are still great. Inclement Emerald, the Hoenn counterpart of Radical Red. The game seems pretty good, but we didn't get the experience of playing it firsthand. Pokemon Unbound, a very difficult hack of a custom region with a lot of quality of life features. Again, we did not play it ourselves. The Kaizo Trilogy. If Triano is the Renaissance painter of ROM hacking, then Sinister Hooded Figure is the mad scientist. This man made Blue Kaizo, Crystal Kaizo, and Emerald Kaizo. Those games are predicated on making the enemy fights insanely hard and gives you less resources than your opponent. Even worse, the world is designed to troll you with a lot of wild grass, explosion trainers, one-hit KO moves, and so many things precisely crafted to make you hate every second of it. We played Blue Kaizo casually, and, well, it sure was something. We only advise those who are not faint of heart to play these hacks. And for our favorite, number 1 hack, we have Pokemon Emerald Rogue. This absolute banger of a game is definitely a recommended experience. Now, what this hack does is convert Pokemon into a roguelike game. After picking a starter, you will be put into a series of randomly generated routes, which include various amounts of wild Pokemon, items, money, and so on. You will also find shops which sell random items. After a few nodes, you need to fight a random gym leader and a random team of their type. Oh, and if you lose a Pokemon, it's dead forever. And if you lose a fight, you have to go all the way from the beginning. A kind word of warning, Pokemon Emerald Rogue will get you hooked. If you want a different, well-made, and absolutely impressive Pokemon experience, play this game. So, that was our top 5 ROM hacks. Please feel free to tell us what are your favorites and if there are any gyms you'd like us to try out. And who knows, maybe there will be a Pokemon Pokerebels version at some point. On that note, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Check these videos out while you're at it and have a great one.